Not long ago, this was a barren desert. Only an occasional animal and blowing sand stirred in this desolate environment. But have things changed? This once sun-baked patch of desert has become the fabulous entertainment, gambling, and vacation capital of the world, Las Vegas. High-rise hotels and bustling casinos, along with 1 million miles of neon tubing, have turned this into a place like no other in the entire world. Looking at these palatial establishments, it's hard to believe that this was not long ago a dusty, sleepy little town that stayed alive because there was a spring and good grazing land here. In fact, the name Las Vegas is Spanish for the meadows. Las Vegas was established in 1855 when the Mormons built a fort and a mission, mining and smelting lead. But this lead did not cast into bullets very well, and Las Vegas was abandoned. Several years later, someone discovered that the lead was actually silver, and then operations resumed again. Octavius Gass, who had moved from Ohio in search of gold, homesteaded the 640-acre meadowland in 1865. Building on structures left by the Mormons, he cultivated the site now known as Las Vegas Ranch into one of the most productive in the area. It had good water sources and was on the main trail from Southern California to Utah. Then in 1905, Las Vegas came to life when railroad promoters decided that it would become a town. After the railroad was completed, 1,000 people gathered in the blistering heat to bid on 1,200 town site lots. Prime locations went for only $1,750. For the first time, Las Vegas was a typical thriving southwestern whistle stop for weary and thirsty travelers. The town grew at a slow pace, surviving on the commerce brought by the noisy iron horse. From the ramshackle Las Vegas beginnings of 1905, tent saloons, hotels, gambling establishments, drinking parlors, and nightclubs sprang up and prospered. Las Vegas' reputation as a city without clocks got an early start in these places. Some of the establishments offered fine dining, others had dance floors. Both inside and out, they ranged from primitive to elegant. In 1928, Congress selected Black Canyon as the site for a new dam to control the wild Colorado River. The town of Boulder City was built to house the thousands of construction workers and their cultural needs. In 1931, gambling was legalized, and with the explosive growth caused by the building of the dam only 30 miles away, Las Vegas grew dramatically. Bolstered by unlimited water and electrical power, the city's boom times had begun. Las Vegas entered its golden era in 1941 with the opening of the first full-fledged resort, El Rancho Vegas. The Last Frontier followed shortly, and that was the beginning of the Strip. It soon became a Hollywood playground, and the Strip exploded with glamorous hotels, each with a big-name entertainer. 3 miles away, downtown Glitter Gulch grew just as fast, with casinos constantly changing facades and neon lights. But today it is far bigger and brighter and more spectacular. No city on earth is illuminated like it. Las Vegas is the neon capital of the world. The signs are dazzling. So brilliant that downtown Vegas needs no streetlights. Signs flash and ripple and cascade and dance, vying with each other for the attention of the passerby. Whoever dreamed that any sign could do what these signs do? It hardly matters what they say. Just glance around you in amazement and you'll be dazzled. Your visit to Vegas would be exciting enough if you just came here and left having seen only these incredible signs. The Strip has all the glamour and blazing lights of downtown, but stretches them out farther and pushes them higher into the sky. There's no bigger or busier concentration of luxurious hotels, posh gambling casinos, and star-studded shows anywhere in the world. The Strip was, and pretty much still is, a narrow strip of land along Las Vegas Boulevard, lined with hotels and motels. The glamour, extravagance, and size of the hotel casinos on the Strip are hard to comprehend. Most major ones have their own beauty shops, jacuzzis, masseurs, health spas, retail shops, and fine restaurants. With every visit to Vegas, you'll see major changes. Hotels constantly rebuilding, redecorating, each trying to increase their drawing power. Nothing ever stays the same. It just gets bigger, better, and more spectacular. The typical Las Vegas hotel is anything but typical. Rather than just a place to hang your hat, many of the hotels are self-contained virtual mini-cities. They generate most of their revenue in the casinos, so room rates are quite reasonable. All provide warm welcomes for businessmen, convention-goers, and families. Circus offers entertainment for the family. One entire floor is devoted to games for kids, with circus acts performing every hour. Complete RV facilities are available. Leaving the circus theme, we find total elegance at Caesar's Palace. It is among the most opulent hotels on the Strip, more extravagant than a Hollywood premiere. Besides all the usual Las Vegas superlatives, Caesar's Palace has a futuristic geodesic dome with a computer-operated light show on the outside. Inside, the dome features an Omnimax theater with special films shown on a giant screen, complete with wraparound sound. The Mirage Hotel has raised the standard of extravagance in Las Vegas. The elegant and stunning architecture is surrounded with a forest of palm trees, beautiful gardens, lakes, and waterfalls. At night, one of the greatest events in all of Las Vegas is the eruption of the incredible Mirage Volcano. The spectacular eruptions mesmerize onlookers with a torrent of water, steam, and flame. Another recent addition to Vegas is one of the world's largest hotels, the Excalibur. With over 4,000 rooms, it resembles a medieval-style castle, complete with old-world courtyard and towers. In addition to the 100,000-square-foot casino, there are jousting tournaments and an authentic dining room from the era of King Arthur. Entertainment is what Las Vegas is all about. Nightly shows feature superstars from Broadway, Hollywood, and around the globe. The casinos offer concerts, reviews, cocktail shows, and big productions. New acts appear regularly, while others run for years. The most popular entertainers make return engagements, and their fans flock to the Strip when they're here. You'll find music and comedy, often spicy, always fun, to satisfy every mood and taste. The stages come alive with chorus lines and spectacular dance routines. The girls are gorgeous, costumes lavish, routines sensational. At the top of almost everybody's list is gambling. It's legal here, of course, and likely it isn't legal where you came from. That adds up to a special thrill. Casinos are open round the clock, 24 hours a day. So give it a try. Whatever your game, you'll find it. Blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, baccarat, keno. So try your skill. Play your hunches. This could be your lucky night. Or is betting on the races your game? Slot machines are the most popular form of gambling, and there are over 70,000 of them here. They don't require skill. No one knows when you lose. But when you win, well, sirens sound, lights flash, and you can whoop it up to your heart's content. And there's a new, exciting craze sweeping Vegas these days: video gambling. One of the most popular of these video games is poker. Typically, you'll have an option of playing from 1 to 5 coins, and playing is easy. Game deals you 5 cards. Use the hold button to select the cards you wish to keep or discard. The game then deals you replacements for your discarded cards. Payoffs depend on the combination of cards you have after the second deal. Most machines return your bet if you have a pair of jacks or better. 2 pairs pays double your bet. 3 of a kind pays 3 to 1. All 5 cards in a numerical series, or a straight, pays 4 to 1. A flush, or all cards of the same suit, pays 5 to 1. A full house, or 3 of a kind plus 2 of a kind, pays 6 to 1. 4 of a kind pays 25 to 1. A straight flush, all cards of the same suit and in a numerical series, pays 200 to 1. And what every gambler dreams of, a royal flush, pays 800 to 1. Keno has long been a popular game, both as a live game or video. Keno boards are visible almost anywhere within the casino. Here you choose from 4 to 15 numbers out of 80 available. 20 numbers are then randomly selected. Payoffs depend on how many of your numbers match those selected. If you play 10 numbers and all were selected, payoffs can be as high as $50,000. And when it comes to food, you can enjoy superb international fare in luxurious surroundings for much less than you'd pay for the equivalent in any other resort city in the country. For more casual dining, there are brunches and buffets, usually at low prices. They are sumptuous feasts that can prolong the dinner hour considerably. There are countless restaurants offering a wide range of foods, from fine cuisine to fast food. Even McDonald's shines brightly here. Sports are popular too. The almost endless days of sunshine are perfect for golf. And there are several tournament-class courses, as well as ones for novices. You'll hear the thwack of tennis rackets near most of the big hotels, and there are courts everywhere. Or maybe you might enjoy a game of racquetball. And what would Las Vegas be without swimming pools? Probably bankrupt. Almost every visitor expects to go in for a dip or at least enjoy a bit of sunbathing in a comfortable lounge chair at poolside. Or how about something more exhilarating? 20 acres of cool, liquid refreshment. Wet and Wild Water Park. And for exciting spectator sports, Las Vegas hosts championship boxing matches and other sporting events. Many visitors come here for conventions, too, and the city actively solicits convention business. Could there be a better place? Close by is McCarran International Airport with plenty of rental cars, taxis, and shuttles available. Thousands of couples, young and old, come to Las Vegas to get married. And the larger hotels offer complete wedding services, even gowns, flowers, and photography. Every hotel has bridal suites. Many famous stars have been married here. A few have even lasted. But many have made repeated trips to the altar here. The city is popular with honeymooners, too. And no wonder. What happier way to begin married life than with a few delirious days and nights here among the pleasures of Las Vegas. There are really two different cities here. One place hosts to the 15 million visitors that come to town each year. The other is just another city. Over 700,000 people live in the Las Vegas Valley year-round, and their lives are just like everybody else's. They may pass the casino every day for months on end and never set a foot inside. There are also beautiful shopping malls that meet the needs of everyone. For a change of pace, there are many other places of interest. At the Guinness World of Records Museum, you'll find the records and replicas of the world's tallest man at 8 feet 11.1 inches, and a life-size replica of one of the world's heaviest men. Also, the world's oldest recorded man, who died in 1986 at 120 years, 237 days. There are many other exhibits, such as the computerized world of sports, the up-to-the-minute technology databanks, and a fascinating look into the history of music and Las Vegas. The all-new Liberace Museum is among the most popular tourist attractions. The fabulous Liberace Museum complex has been expanded into 3 exhibit areas to house new displays of Mr. Showmanship's dazzling jewelry, priceless antiques, million-dollar wardrobe, and classic cars. All proceeds from the museum go to the Liberace Foundation for the Performing and Creative Arts. Just west of downtown Las Vegas is the Nevada State Museum and Historical Society. There are 4 separate galleries with exhibits on native plants and animals of southern Nevada and man's intrusion into the region. Ripley's Believe It or Not includes more than 1,000 items from the vast Robert Ripley collection. They include artifacts, inventions, and wax figure displays. The city also supports a fine collection of Southwest art. On the Strip, the Imperial Palace houses over 200 antique and classic autos, including Adolf Hitler's armored parade car. In nearby Henderson, the Clark County Heritage Museum features a replica of an old ghost town, a general store, wagons, ore cart, and many other historic pieces of equipment from a bygone era. They include a train depot and several engines and cars. Just 30 miles from Vegas is one of the engineering wonders of the world, Hoover Dam, which controls the mighty Colorado River. Construction began in 1930 on what was to become the largest dam that had ever been designed by man. Highways were pushed across the desert. Railroad lines thrust their ribbons of steel through the sagebrush. Transmission lines for construction power were brought hundreds of miles across the wasteland of the southwestern desert. For 2 years, tons of rock were torn away from the canyon walls in a series of spectacular blasts. This continued daily until they were ready to pour concrete for the dam. On June 6, 1933, the first bucket of concrete was placed in the lowest of the dam's forms. Bucket after bucket of concrete was dumped into wooden forms, extending along the full 660-foot-long base. At the peak of operations, 1,000 tons of concrete were poured each hour. The total volume used in the dam was enough to build a 5-foot-wide sidewalk from the North Pole to the South Pole. Meeting an ambitious progress schedule by working both day and night, the dam soon became one of the wonders of the West and a prime tourist attraction. Boulder Dam was dedicated on September 20th, 1935 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. It remains one of the supreme engineering achievements of all time. Why was a dam needed here? Well, there were lots of reasons. The Colorado River, wild and unpredictable, had often caused disastrous floods. In 1905, it overwhelmed an irrigation project in California's Imperial Valley, forming the Salton Sea. Today, it provides electrical power, irrigation, and drinking water to a vast area. Over 500,000 visitors each year come from every state and from all over the world to tour the colossal dam and marvel at its size. Our country's flag flies here to honor the designers and builders who, in the words of the dedication plaque, were inspired by a vision of lonely lands made fruitful. People sometimes call the Colorado the lifeline of the Southwest because so many large hydroelectric projects had been built along its length. Its drainage basin covers parts of 7 states as it cuts a rugged path through North America's driest region. No other river in the world has gouged out such an incredible series of astoundingly deep canyons along its route. Grand Canyon, upriver from Hoover Dam, is the best known, but much of the Colorado's course is spectacularly scenic. In spite of dams and bridges across the river, The rocky cliffs that line it are still wilderness. Desert bighorn sheep frequent the riverside cliffs as they come down to the water to drink. There are herds of wild burros, too, in stretches where the banks aren't too steep. Boulder Dam was renamed Hoover Dam in 1947 in honor of President Herbert Hoover. When you take the tour of the dam, you enter a strange and surrealistic world of unfamiliar architecture. Nobody ever said a corridor has to be straight, but they usually are. This one curves with the curve of the dam. These giant sections of pipe are 30 feet in diameter. It was necessary to fabricate them near the dam site because they were too large for railroads to carry. These huge pipes were used in the penstocks, the tunnels that carry water from the intake towers upstream for release to the outlets downstream. To dramatize the size of these monstrous pipes, a train was driven through one to the delight of newsreel photographers. As the tour continues, you'll visit the cavernous powerhouse at the foot of the dam. Within it are 8 gigantic turbines. There are 2 of these vast generator rooms, one in Nevada, one in Arizona. Their combined maximum capacity is 1.8 million horsepower. U.S. Highway 93 crosses the top of the dam, which is over a quarter of a mile in length. From its crest to river level is 726 feet, or 70 stories high. Few dams on Earth are higher. The tours reach the river level. Miles of transmission lines carry electrical power from Hoover Dam to the southwest. This is one of the reasons for the phenomenal growth of Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, and to a lesser degree, Tucson. It was also instrumental in boosting the one-horse desert town of Las Vegas to the status of the brightest star in the world. Melting snows in the Rocky Mountains supplies most of the water carried by the Colorado River. In the summer of 1983, enormous snowfall fed the river in unprecedented volume, and the Colorado went on a wild rampage. Floodwaters were the greatest since Hoover Dam was built. Upstream, giant Glen Canyon Dam, 30 years younger than Hoover Dam and nearly as high, was overwhelmed and couldn't control the gigantic flow. For the first time in its history, incredible amounts of water were released to rampage downstream. At Hoover Dam, the penstocks alone couldn't handle the enormous excess, and for the first time, the great spillways overflowed. These massive concrete channels and tunnels couldn't even be tested until 1941, 7 years after the construction was completed. It took that long for Lake Mead to fill. Thousands of carp were washed over and dashed to pieces far below. Tourists changed their vacation schedules to include a stop here because no one had ever seen anything like this before. Mist from the plunging Niagara filled the gorge. Not often does the Colorado River rage out of control. Lake Mead, the huge lake behind Hoover Dam, is a form of the river at its most sublime. Visitors are astounded to see such a large body of water in the middle of the desert. Lake Mead also gave us another important benefit: recreation. This immense body of water stretches upriver for 110 miles. There's swimming, boating, fishing, busy marinas, water skiing, and secluded coves for houseboat exploration. In Lake Mead and Hoover Dam, we have 2 marvels side by side, both man-made. The great raging river has been tamed and the desert made to bloom. Nearby lies Valley of Fire State Park. This is a fascinating geological area filled with flaming cliffs, steep buttes, and towering rocks. The forces of wind and water erosion have carved the red sandstone into graceful spires, arches, and domes of all sizes. Brilliantly colored formations reflect the name that the valley bears. In addition, the story of early Native Americans is found in ancient Indian artifacts. The visitor center blends elegantly with the surrounding scenery. The park was created in 1935 and now encompasses 42,000 acres. It was Nevada's first state park. At the visitor center, park rangers and exhibits can help you better understand the plant and animal life found here. But to really enjoy the park, get out and walk the trails and marvel at the creations of nature. Near the end of the trail into Petroglyph Canyon is a waterhole called Mouse's Tank. It was named after Mouse, the infamous Paiute Indian who was considered an outlaw and hid in the labyrinth of canyons. A tank is a depression in a rock that catches rainwater. They are an important source of water for wildlife in areas of scant rainfall. Tanks often hold water for months on end after a rainstorm. The endangered desert tortoise is a resident of Valley of Fire also. Rainbow Vista provides an excellent view of the colorful tilted sandstone that is typical of the Valley of Fire. Some archaeologists believe that man first entered this region about 20,000 years ago. It's likely, though, that the people who lived in this area 2,000 to 4,000 years ago were the artists of many of the petroglyphs. At Atlatl Rock, you will find more petroglyphs. A stairway leads visitors to close-up views of Indian artwork carved into the rock's surface. These ancient forms of rock art are found throughout the Valley of Fire. They speak of a remarkable people, highly skilled in adapting to a hostile and seemingly uninhabitable environment. From 1933 to 1935, the Civilian Conservation Corps, popularly known as the CCC, constructed roads, trails, and buildings in the valley, including these rock cabins. The deposits of shale, limestone, and sandstone created the ideal palette for nature to shape her artistic sculptures. Earth movements have rearranged materials into an endless pattern of folds, faults, and joints. Erosion has carved and colored them into the beautiful forms that we see today. Wind patterns in an ancient sand dune can be seen in sandstone formations. A variety of creatures live in the Valley of Fire, but are not often seen because they remain hidden during the day to avoid the hot desert sun. This is but one of many examples of natural adaptation to this arid land. 20 miles to the west of Las Vegas lies the desert wilds of Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. Wild burrows originally left by early prospectors should be admired from a safe distance. Nearby, the 155-acre Bonnie Springs Ranch is the only commercial private land within the conservation area. The land was originally homesteaded in the late 1800s for cattle ranching. Later, it became a dude ranch with a saloon, riding stables, and cabins. In 1974, Old Nevada, a reconstructed frontier town, was opened here, complete with gunfights, wooden sidewalks, shops, a wax museum, melodramas, and a silent movie house. During a visit, it's easy to imagine yourself reliving those old days of the Wild West.
Hey, Sheriff, watch that. Oh, wait, would you look at him,
Within the park is Spring Mountain Ranch. Way back in 1830, traders on the old Spanish Fremont Trail stopped here to rest in the cooler temperatures. With an abundance of water, it later grew into a ranch. The ranch became a state park in 1974, and the picturesque main ranch house is now the state park's visitor center. Red Rock Canyon is jointly managed by the Bureau of Land Management and the Nevada Division of State Parks. A visit here should begin at the Bureau's Red Rock Canyon Visitor Center. You'll learn about the local geology and the history of man and animal life before beginning your desert adventure. Follow the one-way 13-mile scenic loop road, whether by bicycle or car. Stop at the scenic pullouts, get out, and walk to really appreciate the beauty of Red Rock Canyon. Calico Hills is one of the highlights of Red Rock Canyon. During most of its geological history, this arid land lay beneath an ancient sea. As the water dried up, massive sand dunes enveloped the land. Shifting winds formed tilted layers until the sands eventually solidified. Seen from the scenic loop road, this area beckons visitors to explore its colorful washes, box canyons, and bluffs. One of the first businesses in Las Vegas was quarrying blocks of sandstone at Red Rock Canyon. However, the operation never proved financially successful, and the sandstone quarrying was shut down for good in 1912. Several short hikes offer a diversity of environments and scenery and are accessible from the Loop Drive. Keystone Thrust Trail offers good views of a geologic thrust fault. Along the way, White Rock Spring has an ever-flowing natural spring, and there are breathtaking views of the valley from every vantage point. Along the Loop Road, you will find a turnoff that leads to Willow Spring, with many pleasant picnic sites. From Willow Spring, there are hikes and trails that offer an opportunity to see spectacular scenic views, waterfalls, and streams. Icebox Canyon has a well-maintained trail for 0.8 of a mile. The rest of the way is boulder hopping. This is where it gets its name, Icebox. One of the most popular hiking trails is the one into Pine Creek Canyon. It's a 2-mile round trip, and along the way you may see rock climbers scaling the rock. Or wildlife such as this hawk. The trail leads to the ruins of an historic homestead near a running creek that is surrounded by water-loving vegetation. Careful observation in the canyons and cliffs of Red Rock may enable you to see some of the park's thriving desert bighorn sheep. These graceful mammals are well adapted to the rocky, rugged landscape. The magic of the lowering sun brings the day to a close, and the veil of night slowly envelops Red Rock Canyon. Followed quickly by a lavish outpouring of brilliant light that fills the evening desert sky. Las Vegas has come to life once again.